Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I was just looking. I think that I didn't post your textbook reading, did I? Annoying. How's everybody doing today? It's cloudy. It was cloudy, and I looked at my weather app and it said sunny. I was like, I don't think that's true. All right. Well, while we're waiting for everyone, did anyone wear a shirt they want to share? No. All right. Well, you can see mine. It'll be sad because you'll be like, that might be the dumbest one yet. It's true. It's true. Okay. Are you prepared? Prepare yourself. Sorry, I'm late. I took the rhombus. I told you that one was pretty bad, wasn't it? Yeah, it's true. It's true. And the reason I wore this is I just started geometry in one of my classes. So very fun. I know you're just as excited about that. So I haven't forgot about your statistics reflections. I promise I will put them up. And I haven't forgotten that I was going to do something with that test where some of you ran out of time. So it's still on my brain. I'm thinking about it. So no worries. And we will talk about it before spring break, which is in just a few days. Can you believe it? So I was super hot yesterday teaching. And so today I was like, I'm going to open all these windows and it's going to be nice and cool. And now it's like not even hot today. What is happening? Yeah. And so who knows? Craziness. And it was sprinkling outside on my balcony, but very tiny. Like it's over now. I think it was 5 minutes, but it's okay. And someone told me it's supposed to rain on Friday. Is that true? I feel like that'll change tomorrow, right? Probably. Okay. So yesterday we were working on, oh, and I just noticed that I didn't post your readings, your textbook readings, did I? I don't think they're there, but they will be. I don't know what happened. I think I forgot to click a button. So I will be button clicking later to make sure you have those. They are on the bookshelf in my virtual classroom. If you ever want to look at the readings, like in the textbook, you can just click on it. You would be clicking on the one that says probability now instead of statistics. Yesterday, we kind of finished up PC1 talking about theoretical and experimental probability. And then you did a mini lesson, and your mini lesson was about complements and odds. Did anyone find it a little bit challenging? Yeah, it was a little bit challenging, I would think. I mean, some of them were a little, you were like, I thought I knew that. No, I don't. So, by the way, did you think I was going to share that? Am I sharing my screen with you? Yeah, did you think I was going to share this from Toy Story? Did you think I had a Toy Story shirt on? I know, I thought you did, but I don't. Sorry, I don't own one of those. Are there any big Disney fans in our class? No one? Wait, Yesenia is? Okay, there's usually one. Kids are not huge fans of Disneyland. And I think it's because when we went there, it was super crowded and they called it Disney Wait. So that's our pet name for Disneyland. Yeah. And my plan was when I turned a really big number last year, I was going to go to Disneyland, and then Disneyland closed. So I feel like that was a sign about my birthday. But I'm just saying, I'm sure they closed just for me. It had nothing to do with COVID-19, right? Okay. All right. So I have a warm up for you, real quick one. It'll be painless, and you'll just type it in the chat. So don't do it. Don't hit enter till I say. So what's the probability of rolling a 3 on a single, that says a single-sided die. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. It's supposed to be a 6-sided die. A single, I just missed this one word. That should be 6. 6-sided die. That looks a little better. So, and you can do fraction, decimal, percent, but don't hit enter yet. All right, who's on iPhone? Just so I make sure I take attendance. Ashley, thanks, Ashley.
Yeah, my laptop's being weird.
It's a crazy thing going on. I keep getting these emails. My internet's been terrible, and I keep getting emails that say Cox is going to be updating our something next week, which I'm like, okay, good, maybe it'll work better. But and it'll be on spring break. Yay! So that'll be nice. So hopefully when I come back from spring break, it'll be all perfect. Do we think? Probably not. Jen Day, you're okay. You don't have a question?
I'm fine.
Okay, good. All right, so you ready for your answer in the chat? 3, 2, 1, go. Nice. That was it. You're like, I hope the test is full of those, right? 1 out of 6. I get, like, that makes sense. The test is really not full of those, just so you know. I'll put 1 on there just for niceness. Okay. Here's my explanation if you needed it. I still need to change that thing. So the complement, you did this in your mini lesson last night. The complement is when the event's not going to happen. Instead of normally we're saying, what's the probability that event's going to happen? The complement is what event's not going to happen. And you should be able to always take the probability the event's going to happen plus the probability the event's not going to happen. And that should total 1 or 100%. And we can compute it by using that equation in a different way. So if we know the probability that it is going to happen, we can just subtract it from 1 to find the probability it's not going to happen. So let's take our warm up. So on our warm up, if we do the probability that's not a 3, right? The probability that it's not a 3 on a single 6-sided die, then that would be 1 minus 1/6 or 5/6. Yeah? Does that make sense? Again, that's another easy one. You're like, put that one on the test. I can do that one too, right? Yeah, I see it. I know how it is. So, but if you, anytime you're reading it and you see that word not, that should be your clue that it's going to be the complement, okay? And you're going to have some formulas, a formula sheet on this, and don't be overwhelmed by the formula sheet because it looks scarier than it is. So I'm going to put it in the chat for you so you have it, and I'll share my screen so you can see it, because you can use this throughout, and everything that's on there, I'll make sure you can view it during the next test. So let's take a look at it first so you don't cry when you look at it. So our deck of cards is at the top. I just think that's helpful for you, right? Then the probability of an event happening, this is what we've already done. What are the successes over the total? That's how I would write it. The textbook wrote all these fancy words, okay? Then here we are right here in the complement of the event. So the complement, we usually use a line over it, or we use a little tick mark to show that it's the complement. Okay. Then this is the next thing we're going to talk about is odds in favor and odds against. And for me, this formula is a little confusing or troubling, where it says the probability of E over the probability of not E, because that could be a fraction over another fraction. And then I have to simplify it. So I don't like that. So I use what's in these parentheses where it says successes, failures, and then failures to successes. So that's what I use when I do odds, okay? So, but don't get scared. Here's the rest of the formula sheet. You're like, yikes. It's okay. We're gonna stop at about after expected value and before all the rest of these, and we're gonna take a mini test, and then we're gonna take another test for the end of it. So you really only use about half of the formula sheet at a time, okay? So it'll be broken up for you a little bit nicer. Okay. So we did the other day the probability that the events will happen. Let's look at the probability that the events will not happen. So for example, it says, what's the probability it will not be a king? So the probability, and I'm going to write king, and then I'm going to write a little line over it. So I know I'm looking for the complement. And there's two different ways you can do it. I don't care which way you do it. You can find the probability that it is a king, since that might be easy. And you might know there's 4 kings in a deck of cards. So that would be 4 over 52. And you're going to take 1 minus 4 over 52. Or you could think in your head, well, how many not kings are there? Right? If there's 52 total cards and there's 4 kings, well, there must be 48 not kings, right? So either way, you're going to get to the answer of 48 over 52. And then you can simplify that. And remember, Desmos can simplify it for you, right? 4 divides both of those evenly. So that would be 12 over 13. Okay. So, and if you're wondering what math is happening right here, we're really doing common denominators. So we're saying 52 over 52, which is the same as 1, minus 4 over 52. And we're subtracting our numerators and keeping our denominators the same. So just in case you're wondering what magical math is happening right there. Okay. But let's try it on, let me try it on Desmos just so we can see what would happen. I'm sure I have Desmos somewhere in here. You like all those windows I have open? It's probably bad for my iPad, but I don't seem to care. So Desmos, why can't I just find scientific? There we go. Okay. So let's just try it. 1 minus, and I'm going to make that fraction 4 over 52. And so I get my answer. And if I push that, do you see I get the 12 out of 13? So you didn't even have to really think as much. The thinking part is how many kings are in the deck and, you know, how do I set up the formula? But let the calculator do the mathematics for you so you don't have to worry about it. Okay? Nice. All right, let's go back here. Can you figure out the probability? Remember that it's not a diamond. So we're going to say the probability it's a diamond, and then we're going to put that not symbol over it. And the probability it's a face card, and put that not symbol over it. So try those two, and then I'll just call on you. You don't even have to get them ready in the chat. We're missing like 3 people. Is everybody on spring break already and I missed it? All right, are you ready to get them both done? First, we'll take volunteers, then we'll just take whoever doesn't volunteer. So how about the probability that it's not a diamond? Talk us through your solution. You can tell us the answer too, but talk us through your solution.
No. Oh, go ahead, Mel.
Okay. So there's 13 diamonds. So I just took 52 minus 13. And then I got 39 over 52, and then I reduced it to 3/4 or 75%.
Anyone get that same answer? Nice, you're getting some thumbs up. So you didn't formally write it out, but explaining this part to me is explaining your thinking, right? So there's a total of 52 cards in the deck. 13 of them are diamonds, which you could look at the picture for if you need to, right? And so you subtract those and you get 39 out of 52, which would simplify to 3/4. And like Malachi said, you could do a percentage if you want. You could say 75%. Just read the directions carefully on what form it wants the answer in, right? So you don't have to do the same problem 17 times. Good job. Valerie, can you do the face card one?
I did a 1 minus 12 over 52, and then I got 40 over 52. after that, I simplify and I got 10 over 13.
Very nice. Excellent. And then 10 over 13, just in case you wanted to see the percentage would be like 77% or 76.9%. Excellent. Good job. So not too much different than what we were doing before. We just have to look for that word complement, right? Any questions on those? All right. So odds in favor versus odds against. Some people have trouble with this idea. And what might help you, instead of writing it as a fraction, write it as a ratio. So you use like this colon symbol in between them, which might help, okay? So for example, the odds of rolling a 4, the odds in favor are 1 to 5. Well, how did we get 1 to 5? Well, the nice thing is you think of there's one way you get a 4. There's 5 ways that you get not a 4 or something other than a 4. Okay. So if you do just successes to failures when you're doing odds in favor, that will help. Okay. And so let's find the odds in favor of these cards. So we can use our information that we found on the other problems. So if we're doing the odds in favor that it's a king, well, there's 4 kings, right? And there are 48 not kings. So these would be your successes. These would be your failures. So you would 4 to 48. But just like a fraction, you can still simplify that, okay? And it would be 1 to 12. Now, before I set you to do the other two, I want you to think of what we got when we found the probability that it was a king. The probability that it was a king was 4 out of 52, which simplified to 1 over 13, because this was successes to total. Now we're doing successes to failures. So do you agree with me that successes plus failures should equal the total? Right? That should be all together. Successes plus failures should be the total. So if I know the total is 13, and I know successes is 1, do you see where this 12 would come from? Because if we know our total is 13 and our successes is 1, what would we put in here for the failures? Well, we would do 13 minus 1 to get our 12. So that's another way you can solve odds in favor problem. Okay, so try the diamond and the face card now. What are the odds in favor that you get a diamond and the odds in favor of getting a face card? So the odds in favor means you want it to happen. So the successes are going to be that thing happening. Okay, so try those for about a minute. All right, are you ready to go over these? Let's have someone new tell me the odds in favor of a diamond and explain to us how you get it, and then we'll have someone new do a face card. I love how everybody avoids eye contact right then. That's perfect. Amanda, you're up.
So I did 13 diamonds to 39 not diamonds, and then reduced that to 1 to 3.
Nice. Is that what everybody got? Yay, Valerie gave you a thumbs up right away. See, she's happy that she didn't get picked. Actually, I don't think Valerie cared. I think Valerie would have done it. So any questions on how we got the 13 and 39? So remember, it's not 13 to 52. It's going to be 13 to 39 because we have to do 52 total cards minus 13 diamonds would give us 39 not diamonds. Sorry, someone was going to ask a question.
Oh, I simplified 13 and 39. And then I got 1/3, and I just put 1 and 3.
Yep, right here, 1 to 3. Right? Good job. Excellent. Sometimes people get confused on that one because they're like, I didn't think 13 would simplify, right? But remember, if you use that Desmos calculator, it'll do it for you. All right. So, Zendaya, does that make sense? 13 to 52 would be the probability that it's a diamond, but if we do 13 to 39, that would be the odds in favor of it being a diamond. Excellent. Good. All right. So a face card. The odds in favor of being a face card. Ashley, what'd you give for that one?
Would it be 3 out of 10?
Yeah. How'd you get 3 to 10? Do you know?
I subtracted 12 from 52 to get 40. And then there's 12 face cards. And then I reduced to 3/10. 3 out of 10.
Very nice. Perfect. Excellent. Good job, Ashley. And if you notice, did you guys notice that these sum to 52? This sums to 52. This sums to 52 because there's 52 cards in the deck. So that should be true, right? All the time. So it's a good way to check. Okay, any questions on odds in favor? Okay, anyone tell me what odds against is compared to odds in favor?
Is odds against? Oh, go ahead.
It's just against it. Like, what's the ratio of not getting it?
Yeah, it's the ratio of the opposite thing happening. Who else was going to talk? Was it Angelina?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how to calculate it?
As soon as you subtract it.
You can just reverse this ratio. So instead of, if I was doing odds against, instead of 1 to 12, oops, instead of 1 to 12, I would just reverse it and say 12 to 1. Nice. So odds against is really easy if you already have odds in favor. Odds against is harder if they make you think it through. So let's look at our definition here. Do you notice the odds against rolling a 4? This time we're doing failures to successes. So the event not happening compared to the event happening. And so the odds against rolling a 4, there's 5 not 4s and there's only 1 4. So it's going to be 5 to 1. Remember that the odds in favor was 1 to 5. Nice. Okay. So the odds against the card being a king We can do it the long way and pretend we didn't do the other problems. So we can say that failures to successes. And so it's not kings to kings, which we know there's 48 not kings and there's 4 kings. And that would simplify to 12 to 1. Does that make sense? So what do you, go ahead, Malachi.
Yeah, when it's like 12 to 1, can we just put it a whole number or stay like ratio?
Yeah, it needs to stay a ratio. Great question. Since we need to know that it's not just a whole number of 12, it's 12 to 1 in against that event happening, we need to keep that ratio. Okay, so do you think you know the answers to the other two, the diamond and the face card? You don't? Okay, so let's talk through it. Anyone can explain the diamond one?
Would it be 1 to 3?
Why would it be 1 to 3
3
and
to 1.
why?
Wait, 3 to 1. Sorry.
3 to 1. Okay, so let's talk through it. If it's failures to successes, let's look at our cards or talk about our deck of cards. How many diamonds and not diamonds are in the deck? I think it's easier to talk diamonds. How many diamonds are in the deck? And you could look at your picture if you need to.
39.
Yeah, there are 39 not diamonds, right? There are 13 diamonds. Yeah? So there's 39 not diamonds. And there are 13 diamonds. Then when I simplify it, I get 3 to 1. Just like Yesenia said, on the other one, it was 1 to 3. On this one, it's just going to be the inverse of that, 3 to 1. Okay, so on a face card, do you remember how many not face cards or how many face cards there were? Well, there's only
12.
Jack, Queen, and Kings. Very nice. Go ahead, Angelina.
12 face cards and then 40 not face cards.
Perfect. So it's going to be 40 to 12. And when I simplify that, I'm going to get 10 to 3. So the hardest part of these problems, not really the mathematics, right? Because it's just addition and subtraction, and maybe simplifying a fraction, which your calculator can do. The hard part is remembering what it's asking you and reading carefully. Is it asking me for probability? Is it asking me for odds? Or is it at odds in favor or asking me for odds against? Do you see how that can be a little bit tricky? Yeah, but the mathematics is not super overwhelmingly difficult, right? It's the concepts that are challenging. Okay. I'm putting a document in the chat right now. And you guys are going to work on this. Make your own copy. I'm going to be checking it while you're working. Now, first you have to read the directions really carefully. It says, you know, find the probability first, and then it's going to ask you some complement questions, but it's not going to say find the complement. It's going to say something like, you know, find the probability that it's not this. So I'll show you. This is what it looks like right here. Okay. So, and if we read the directions carefully, it says complete the following problems in class, show all your work. You can get help from your team, but try to complete them on your own. Write your answer as a fraction in simplest form or a ratio in simplest form. So if we read this first question, it says the table below shows the number of credit cards owned by a group of individuals. So when it's organized in this table, So males, females, and then total. And then across the top, it says they have 0 credit cards, 1 credit card, 2 or more credit cards, and then it totals it. So it says find the probability. So first of all, we know we're finding probability and that a person has no credit cards. Okay, the person has no credit cards. So we're in this column. The person has 0 credit cards. So did it say anything about male or female? No, it didn't say anything about that. So it doesn't care. It just wants one person. So we need to take this value, that's going to be successes, right? So 27. And then we're going to divide it by the total number of people in the survey. So what's the total number of people in this?
81.
Yep, 27 over 81. So is that simplified, 27 over 81? You're like, I don't know. Well, perfect. If you don't know, let's go to Desmos and let's type it in and we'll say 27 divided by 81. And we hit that button and it simplifies it for us. Yeah? So it wasn't simplified. If it was simplified, it would just tell you the same fraction again. Okay? So we're going to go back here. If you're curious about the math, 27 times 3 gives you 81. You could do, this is a real flashback, just in case some of you are like mathy, you really like math. You could write it as prime factorization, 3 times 3 times 3. And 81 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And all these 3s would simplify to 1. So our answer would be 1/3. You don't have to do this step. This was just me being a math nerd, okay? You can just use your calculator, okay? So, but I highly recommend you read carefully because the next one says probability, but then the next one says not a heart. The next one says not a 6, right? So those are the complement problems. This one says if you have this probability, what's the probability that it's not happening? Okay, so do you see how you have to read these carefully? And then the next page will talk about some odds, right? So we'll go odds, odds, odds. Okay, so I'm going to put you in random groups again and just work on this and call me in if you want to check your answers or if you need help. I might be apt because some of you are like, are you grading this? Am I turning this in? What's happening with this? Maybe I'll just give you extra credit. Yeah? So there's your incentive to do your work besides just understand in order to pass the test, right? Okay. Let me get you in your breakout room. But if you want some extra credit, you're going to have to show me that you did it, right? No. All right. Go for it. Call me in. I'm going to leave you in there to work. If you need help, I'm happy to help you. We're almost all back. All right, good work, guys. I should just tell you it's extra credit every day because you seem to work very quickly when I say it's extra credit. I love Jen Day's face. She's like, that's exactly why I did my worksheet. You are totally correct. I've been a teacher a long time. I kind of know how these things work. All right, so you all did terrific. You did amazing. What I think the lesson a lot of you learned is, boy, you better read the questions carefully, right? So you don't get tripped up. How about that very last question where it said, if you're given odds of 3 to 8 in favor of winning a bet, what's the probability of winning the bet? And I know I talked to one group about it, but how about the other groups, like Yesenia, whoever was in the room with Yesenia, and who else? Olivia's group. What did you guys get for that last answer? It's okay if you're wrong.
I got 5 to 3.
5 to 3. Can you tell me how you got 5 to 3?
Yes, let me find it. I did 8 minus 3 equals 5. And then so you're so then you're 5.
I feel like she got that right with the 3, 8. And then what I think we should have like done 3 and then add 3 over and then 3 plus 8 and that'll be 11. So it would have been 3, 11.
Oh, so 3 plus 8 is 11. I agree with you, Valerie. And that is successes to failures. And if we add our successes and our failures together, we will get our total. So, and for probability, we need success to total. So if we do successes being 3 and our total being 11, you are exactly right, Valerie. It would be 3 to 11. Good job. Okay, so think about those. Think about how you're going to write those. And then here is your exit ticket, I think. Hold on. And do you notice that I said the more mini lesson PC2 again? If you want to fix it. So a lot of us said that was kind of hard last night. So we might not have gotten it all. And so we wanted to correct some of ours. So now you can correct it through tonight, okay? And you also have the more practice for P2 that's to do. So that'll be lots of nice practice for you. And then you need to do your mini lesson for PC3. And we're gonna spend 2 days on PC3 because it's a little bit harder. So make sure you take a look at that. I am gonna give you all extra credit for working so hard today. So good job. And I'm also gonna put in my key to this assignment. And the reason I'm putting my key in there is if you take a look at it, you're gonna see what I mean by showing your work, because some of you do not show your work. So make sure you take a look at that so you can see how I showed my work, okay? Otherwise, do your exit ticket. Sorry I kept you a little bit late. If you need to log off, fine, just finish your exit ticket at some point soon. And I'll see you tomorrow. Happy Tuesday.